Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.
Hi guys, it is Jane. I am here for my Monday, Wednesday, Friday 1B at 4 o'clock in room 503. Today is our first day in 1B and we will be starting with reading. Alright, so now we have a green reading workbook we should be using. And today we will be using the book Barney's Horse. Okay? So first start by getting these two books out, all right? And we're going to talk about some of the expectations for you in this class. All right, if you open up your reading workbook to page 2 and 3, you will see we have a vocabulary list for the book Barney's Horse. Every day we teach reading, we will have so many page numbers that we will study, and the next time at the beginning of class, we will have a 5-minute vocabulary quiz over these words, okay? So that will be homework every night, is studying vocabulary and reading the book, all right? So let's start by turning to page 4. This is an opening activity before you read, okay? So you will need this. Don't peek inside yet, guys, okay? I want you to try and answer these questions without looking through the book, all right? So, number 1, look at the cover of the book. What is the title of the book? All right? Well, our titles are in nice and big right here. So the title of the book is Barney's Horse. So Barney's, apostrophe S, because it is Barney's, and then horse. And horse is an important word, so capital letter, okay? Number 2, who is the author of the book? All right, if you look right below where it says Barney's Horse, it will say Sid Hoff, okay? Sid Hoff. Now, if you have a book and the author's name is not on the cover, if you open the first page, you should be able to find the author's name on this page, okay? All right. So, number 3, what do you see on the cover of this book? All right, what do we see here in this picture? Well, we see a man. We can assume that's Barney. A horse. What is he doing? Yeah, he's petting and feeding the horse. Good. And what's this behind them? Yeah, it's a town, right? So, for number 3, we see a man, horse, apple, and town. Good. Number 4. What do you think the man's job is? Looking from this picture, or looking at this picture, what do you think he does? What do you think is his job? Yeah, we can assume it's to take care of a horse, right? So, his job is taking care of the horse, right? All right. Number 5. I did it again, sorry. So number 4 is not this. Sorry, that's number 5. I skipped a question. Number 4, sorry about that, guys. Look at what's covering the horse's eyes. What do you think those are? So they actually cover the horse's eyes like this, not like sunglasses, but sides. Why? Yeah, so maybe they help him see straight, right? And number 5 is taking care of the horse. Sorry about that, guys. So 5, his job is taking care of the horse. All right, number 6. What do you think the horse's job is? Well, the horse looks like he has some kind of harness on him, right? So, and we can see a wooden peg it looks like. So maybe his job is to pull a wagon, right? So the horse pulls a wagon, or the horse's job is to pull a wagon. The horse's job is to pull a wagon. All right. Number 7. Do the horse and the man look happy, angry, or sad? Oh, well, they seem very happy. The man has a smile on his face, right? So they seem happy. All right. And number 8. Do you think this book will be funny? Why? We can assume that it might be a funny book because the characters look happy, right? So there might be some funny moments. So the characters look happy, so it might be funny. All right, I'll give you a minute to finish writing those down, and then we will start by reading Barney's Horse. All right. So let's go ahead and get out our copies of Barney's Horse and turn to the first page. On page number 4. All right. Long ago, horses pulled wagons up and down the streets. There were even horses that pulled streetcars. Barney the peddler rode down the street with his horse and wagon, shouting, "Apples, onions, potatoes. Get your apples, onions, potatoes right over here." Ladies came out of their houses to buy from him. Barney's horse stood at the curb waiting. He swished his tail to chase away the flies. Children petted him. They fed him sugar cubes. "That's good, children. Always be kind to animals," said Barney the peddler. Barney let them sit on his horse's back. He let them ride on the wagon around the block. Then Barney would ride off to another street. "Goodbye, children," called Barney. "I will see you tomorrow." One day, men came with picks and shovels. They started to dig. Barney and his horse stopped at the curb and watched. "Soon people will be riding on trains over our heads," said Officer Muldoon. "A city has to grow," said Barney the peddler as he petted his horse. All day, Barney sold fruits and vegetables all over town. When it got late, people heard clippity-clop as Barney headed back to the stable. Barney brushed his horse and put a blanket on him. "Good night, sleep tight," said Barney, and he went to sleep next to his horse. It was the day the train started running. People climbed the stairs to get on them. Men with push carts stared up at them. Dogs and cats were staring too. Screech, screech went the wheels on the tracks. The train swayed, the ground shook. "Runaway horse! Runaway horse!" someone shouted. Down the street ran Barney's horse, pulling the wagon. "Whoa, wait for me!" shouted Barney, but the horse ran faster and faster. Children tried to catch him, but Barney's horse was too fast for them. Officer Muldoon stepped off the curb and waved his arms. "Whoa, old feller, whoa," he said softly. "Nobody wants to hurt you." Barney's horse came to a halt. He let the policeman hold him and pet him until Barney caught up with him. "I guess your horse will have to get used to the trains," said Officer Muldoon. "We will all have to get used to them," said Barney the peddler. Barney petted his horse. He gave him a big, juicy apple. Then he got back on the wagon and rode off shouting, "Apples, onions, potatoes. Get your apples, onions, potatoes right over here." The city grew and grew. More and more trains ran. The ground shook under them, but Barney's horse did not seem to mind. He never ran away again. Well, almost never. He knew Barney needed him. All right. So now that we read this book, let's talk about it. So, do you think this story is old? And if so, what in the book made you think the city was old, right? Well, right away on page 4 and 5, we look and we see that there aren't cars. No. Everything is a wagon pulled by horses, right? So clearly it's older than cars, right? What else do we notice that might tell us the age of this book and the story in it? What about how the characters are dressed, right? Do we dress like this nowadays? No, we dress differently. So that tells us something too, right? What else tells us about how old this story is? Well, it talks about when the trains were first built. You guys were born and there were already trains and cars, right? So the first train being built in the city is also a good indicator that this book is really old, isn't it? Yeah, all right? So, what do you guys know about horses? Have any of you ever ridden a horse or seen a horse in real life? Some of you maybe yes, others probably not, and that's okay. So, for example, Barney's horse here on the cover, you see has those things to cover his eyes like this, right? Those are called blinders. And it's to keep the horse from getting distracted by things on the side of them and also from scaring the horse. It helps the horse to walk in a straight line rather than this way and that way. Also, do you know what a horse wears on its feet? So a horse has something called horseshoes, but they're not quite what you're thinking. The horse isn't wearing high heels or sneakers, no. A horseshoe is shaped like this. And they take a hammer and nails and hammer it like this into the horse's hoof. It might seem painful, but horses really don't mind. This is actually to help them because when they're walking on hard surfaces, rather than just slapping their hooves down, which could break their hooves and hurt them really bad, they have this metal horseshoe which protects their hooves, kind of like how sneakers protect your feet when you're walking on cement or rocks. It does the same for them. Also, what do horses eat? Any ideas? Well, in the book it says the kids fed them sugar cubes, right? So horses like to snack on sugar cubes. And apples, right, because we see Barney feeding his horse an apple. Horses also like to eat carrots, certain types of grass, and also they like to eat hay. Yeah, and grain too from time to time. Now, has anyone ever ridden a horse before? I have never ridden a horse before, but I used to have a horse. I was scared because it was so tall, because horses are really tall, and you don't realize that until you're standing next to them. Yeah, so living here in the city, it might be a bit more difficult for you guys to try and ride a horse. There's not really anywhere to ride one, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that's all right if you haven't ridden a horse. If you would like to, I hope that one day you get the chance. That would be awesome for you. All right, so if you look at page 5, right, this is your homework assignment, but I'm going to describe it to you. So Barney is a peddler, okay? A peddler is someone who sells things on the streets. You see a lot of that here in Korea. For example, do you ever see the blue trucks on the streets? Sometimes they sell clothes, pots, pans, fruit, all sorts of things, anything you can think of. With those, how are they similar to what Barney did, and how are they different? So for homework, I want you to write about the similarities, what are the same things between the blue trucks and Barney, and the differences between the blue trucks and Barney. For example, a difference is Barney only sells fruits and vegetables, but the blue trucks sell a lot more. Okay? Also, what does Barney drive? Does he drive a truck? No, he drives a cart, a wagon. And a truck driver drives a truck. That's a big difference. You don't need a horse to drive a truck. All right? So for homework, all right, do page 5, all right? So you want to answer the question on page 5. Study vocab up to page 11. So study vocab, pages 4 to 11. Terrible S. Pages, there we go, 4 to 11. All right. And read the book again with the CD. So read the book again with CD. Okay. Now, something, I don't know if you guys know or not, when you're looking at your vocab list, it has the page numbers written right here. So if it says study vocab, pages 4 to 11, 4 is the first, and 11, ride off. So study the word long ago to ride off, okay? And we will have a quiz on it next time. All right, guys. Well, take care, and I hope to
Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.